You're watching BuyPBL's Gab-fest. Guest opinions do not reflect the opinions of the show's sponsors. Video and audio quality is determined by the individual partaking in the program. We apologize in advance for any enlightened views of the industry or hurt feelings.
Hey, I'm Thomas Taylor here with Frank the Tank Connell. This is Season 2 of Gab-fest. We are at Recon Paintball. It's a great store. If you're in the area, come by, stop out, check it out. It's in Kitchener, Ontario. And we're going to give you the mid-season update, what's going on in the paintball world, what our thoughts and opinions are. They don't mean much, so but we got questions and we're going to answer them. We go with that?
Sounds good to me.
All right. First and most exciting, okay, maybe not the most exciting, but it is the first question. Have there been any teams that have surprised you this season, good or bad?
That's a pretty good question to start off.
What do you got? What do you got for me?
Well, I'm going to say on the good side, I know in the NPPL, Sacramento explicit.
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Because we are Sacramento obsessive. But hey, you know what? We're in his heart, we're in his blood. He played for us once.
Yeah,
I can feel how he gets that.
That's all in my heart. San
Okay.
Francisco explicit.
Yes, they played real well.
They're playing
last
pretty
year.
good. They picked up some new players.
Yeah.
They got Lasoya.
And he is like old and slow, but still kills lots of
He's
people.
still making
I
moves.
love him.
Still making moves. No matter what. I love the guy.
The guy that paintball's in his blood.
Yes. Without a doubt.
Yes. Yeah, they definitely had a really good event last weekend. Last event. We get to practice them a lot, obviously, because they're up north. So, you know, they got a lot of talented players. It's just whether it comes together or not.
Right.
You
well,
know?
they picked up like what, 4 or 5 new guys.
Yeah, Marcelo, Neil Eberly, Chris Lasoya. Who else is there besides some of the regular guys? I'm trying to think. Tyler Harmon.
Our all excessive teammate, Tyler.
Tyler, yep. So yeah,
They got some good guys.
You know, Rob went out of his way to try to mix it up, to change things. The team's been stagnant for a long time. Not that they didn't already have some good players. He just wanted to go for top talent. You know, so I'm not sure I agree with revamping the whole team, but it worked out. It's their best place they've had, I think, since the existence of them as a pro team.
I agree. I think they've made Sunday once since the beginning of coming into the NPPL.
Yeah, that's true.
And they pretty much, I think they made the finals in Chicago, didn't they? They were top 4, weren't they?
They yes, I think you're right.
Yeah,
I think you're right. Yeah, because Chris pulled off some moves to beat Damage.
Yes.
Yeah. Good job, Chris. Okay, so there's a surprise. For me, I don't know if I'd say it's a surprise. But the PSP is really kind of the top 4 have kind of mixed it up. You know, we have a sheet somewhere over there, but Damage is still in there. But Houston Heat coming out, and first 2 events, first and a second, I think, or a second and a first. I'm not sure if that's a surprise, but it's a brand new team.
But they got some great players on
They
the
do.
team.
They got like half the Russians, but that's what I'm getting at. So like they went and they're doing well, and they got some good talent. You know, Aftershock, Heat kind of mixed, but the Russians are still in second place overall. And supposedly he took all their best players.
That's pretty surprising,
right?
That the Russians still are in second.
Still in second place, and supposedly their best players are gone.
Right. Well, they picked up Marcelo, and he's playing lights out.
He's
lights out. Playing.
Maybe he should have always been on the Tritos. Infamous had it wrong. He's not a snake player. Yeah,
exactly. He's definitely balling.
Yes.
So I guess he's carrying that team because
they're. I mean, they still got a couple.
They got Jason Wheeler.
Yeah.
Right. He came over from the UK, so
right.
he's been playing really well. As for that, you know, a bunch of Russians that I have no idea. All the best Russians went over to Houston Heat. So.
Yeah, they still got you know, I'm not really good with names. They still got 2 of their core guys that were really good paintball players.
If you lose Fedorov, Mishka, you know, those were the 2 top players right there.
True.
You know.
So there you go. There's a surprise, I think, for both of us, that Russians could lose half their team and still be in second place. You know, the only other surprise, I think, for everyone else in the paintball world, what? Dynasty.
Dynasty. 6th place in both leagues right now, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta tell you, I don't know what it is about them, but I think they're just losing heart. They're getting older. They got different things going on in life, and they're not playing paintball like they used to play every week, I think.
You know, we don't practice them as much this year, but they haven't been doing as much 7-man practice, but that's because they're also playing in Europe. So, you know, a lot of the practices have been overlapping. So last year we got to grind with them a little bit, so I could see. So, you know, I can't speak to where they are at heart-wise or whatever. You know, I see when they lose, they got that, you know, intensity, but is that intensity before they get on the field? I don't know if they have that same thing. But 6 in both leagues. I mean, even Dynasty normally in their bad time, you know, would be a top 4 team.
We're a top 4 team.
Yeah, you know, should be a top 4 team at all times. And with the players they have now, they should still be.
They should dominate.
Yeah.
I mean, they have some phenomenal players there, so I don't understand what their problem is. I know when I played with them back in the day, is every weekend, 2 days, practice every weekend, nonstop.
Do you think they're just burning
and
out?
I just, I think they're getting older. They're doing other things. They all got jobs. Half the team has jobs now. I'll tell you, nobody on that team ever had a job when I was around. Now they all have jobs.
What is this JOB thing you speak
Yes. Yeah. So you see this one right here? He's still learning what a JOB is. Someday he'll figure it out.
I got kid number 2 on the way. I'm working on
You
JOBs.
better figure out what a JOB is quick.
Yes. All right. So that's what we got. If you have anything else, let us know. Put it out there. Right. Question number 2. Of the events left this season, which one are you looking forward to the most? We got 4 events left.
That's simple. For me,
yeah,
it's Vegas, baby. Vegas all the way. It's not just because of the event. Oh, yeah. The event's awesome being in Las Vegas, but just the atmosphere itself. I'm that gambling type of guy. I like to bring it on and bring home the money. I think last year I came home up like $20-something thousand. It was a nice weekend in Vegas.
I won $100 once.
And then
it was pretty cool.
And the best part is going to be my bachelor party of Vegas because I get married the following week.
This man's about to be a married man, so congratulations on that.
So we're gonna have fun in Vegas, baby.
For me, I'm kind of torn because I would have said Vegas because I don't get to take my family to a lot of events, and my kid number 2, my baby girl, Harmony Grace, I'm supposed to be born in the beginning of September, so Vegas would be the event they all get to go. But I think we are going to try to get them all to go to Orlando and take Keith to Disney World for a day or 2. So for me, I know this is not fair. You're probably asking about paintball, but I don't really talk about paintball. I think I'm kind of looking to Orlando. Now, and nothing against the PSP. I love the league. I'm not a big fan of Fantasy of Flight. It's a little too far away for me, and it's really hot there. It's like, I loved it when we were at Disney World because you had the trees. It seemed to be cooler. You could get away from the sun if you wanted to run to Kissimmee. It was 5 minutes away. Being at where we're at now, I mean, there's an Arby's and a gas station that's one building together. So I'm not sure I like where the event is at, but I think for the rest of the year, as in places I'm going to go, I'm kind of looking forward to being able to take Keith to Disney World and let him just run amok.
That's my back door. I live in Florida, so to me that's just...
Hey, I need to hook up on tickets, so we'll talk about that later.
All right, always looking for an in. Remember that, always.
Hey man, I looked online. It's $89 a ticket, bro. I got
Florida resident. I get a discount.
See?
Exactly.
Boy, Frank always coming in big. All right. Question 3: what players would you say have stood out to you this season so far? Anybody that stands out besides
I said,
yourself?
No, not me. I'm getting old.
Look at this knee.
I know you got knees. I got knees. It's like we need to go. Maybe we can invest in some. Some fake knees company or something, make out, right? Let's figure it out. No, I have to say the person that really impressed me is Marcela. Marcela Magat is playing, hands down, some of the best paintball I've seen play in a long time.
I definitely have to agree with that. I got a chance to practice with him. They came down a couple weekends ago. Well, I wasn't practicing. I was gimping around doing game plans. But just talking to him, seeing his fire, like after the day was done, he's out there doing snap shooting. Yeah. He's on the field. Like, none of my kids on Accessory are doing that, man. We're just over, packed up, they're gone,
They're going to wings and things
for food. He's out there and he's snap shooting and stuff. And, I don't see him like, what is the word? I don't see him out there being like a game breaker, like he's running through doing anything, but he is consistent. He's alive, getting to his bunker, shooting his gun, and he's getting those kills, consistent kills. I'm sure, there's the stats on, what is it, Paintball Access or whatever, the PSP Paintball Access, I think it is. You can look at his stats, and I'm betting he's up there because he seems to always be on the field. And if you're always on the field, your stats are going to be high. It's going to be like a Ryan Greenspan. Yeah. He's not always running through, but the guy's always alive, so he probably has high stats too. He has to be shooting people, right?
He's a consistently great player. I'll give you someone that's really playing well also, Jason Edwards, Tampa Bay Damage.
Yeah? I haven't got to see him too much, so
he's been playing really well. I mean, that kid is consistent. He's working out. He used to be called Fat Kid. Now he's lean. He's mean, and
I have noticed he's looking in pretty good shape.
Yeah, he's looking strong.
His face is all trim.
So yeah, he's definitely playing balls out also.
Very cool. Very cool.
What do you think?
I'm trying to run through my head. There's so many players. I think one player, and a lot of people talking about already is Mouse came back. Took a long time off and came right back in, and it's making a fairly big difference for Arsenal. I haven't seen what he did for Dynasty, but in the NPPL, he was a big deal there. And for taking as much time off as he did, I think that's a pretty good statement. He came out and played well. Just really someone that seems to be making making a difference. So, you know, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of other players I would, you know, I'm going through my mind that's pretty consistent. Sam Monville stands out, you know, as in being a real consistent player right now for Heat. You know, get on that snake side, being alive. You know, once again, not like over aggressive, breaking games open, but just seems to be there, around when it comes to it. So
Infamous has won the last 2 events. So
they have. So we got to have someone on there, right?
Yeah, they got to be playing hot. I mean, going back, I mean, Drew Templeton's playing very well. Okay. And then their Dorito guy, who
Greg Sewers.
Greg, yeah.
Now,
Greg is playing.
Greg, I love Greg to death, and he had a good event this last event because I watched him a little bit. But before that, I think, don't quote me on this, but he's in like the top 2 or 3 for penalties.
Oh, really?
He pushing that envelope just a little bit too hard. But you know, after, you know, being at the event and listening to Matt and stuff like that on the game afterwards, you know, they're talking about them winning the event in Chicago. They definitely mentioned his name a few times. So, you know, Nicky Cuba is always consistent. You know, he seems to be, you know, they put him in there in all the crunch times. I watched him play in Chicago every 3-man overtime, and I think they only lost 1 of those, and I want to say they played 3 overtimes to go on to win that event. So 3 times it came down to if they didn't win the overtime, you know, they're out, and they won 2 out of the 3 of those. So, you know, maybe they're just playing good as a team, you know, just playing overall team paintball. Sometimes that's what really makes a difference.
All right. A lot of your guys are playing good, too. I mean, you guys won Huntington Beach.
We won Huntington Beach. Yeah. We just missed the cut the next event, you know, which kind of stunk. But, you know, I don't know if we have any, like, over standout players in our team either. But we got a lot of we're working on just really playing the team side of it.
Consistency.
So, you know, who's hot right now? Who's coming in? Who's going to, you know, where's the ball rolling?
Well,
do you think someone's going to fall off? What do we got in the top 4 for each?
All right, so let's talk about PSP.
PSP, what do we got?
Right now we got Houston Heat in first with 259.09. Ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea what the hell that means with the 259.09 because I don't know how you get 0.09 points, but whatever, the PSP does whatever the hell they want to do, so that's what they came up with. So that's first. Moscow Red Legion in second with 234.55. And Tampa Bay Damage with the same exact score. 234.50. Wait a second.
And Infamous. Or Ironman. So we have first place in 259.09, and then the next 3 teams, second, third, and fourth, are all tied, and they're probably in that order, I'm guessing, because of wins and losses. There's something that puts them why they're in second, third, and fourth. You know, whether it comes head-to-heads or maybe overall point score or something. I don't know what the exact format is.
If I was gonna say who's gonna come out on top there, wow, that's a good one. You know what? They're all the top 3 are real playing good. You know, even the Ironman have some really consistent players. You know,
my trouble with saying the Ironman for me to take the season is they're consistent, but I don't think they're great right now. I'm not taking anything away from them. They're playing really good team paintball, but I don't know if they have what it takes to go out and win the next 2 events.
I'm either going to give it to Damage or I'm going to give it to Houston Heat just based on experience alone.
You think so? You think Legion's going to fall off?
I think Legion's going to lose one. They're going to get stomped on one event.
You know, I'd like to say here that Infamous is on a roll, and if they come out and place in the next, you know, in the top for the next 2 events, they could squeak in there. But there's like I don't know how the points work, but
I'm not saying Infamous.
It's 30. They got like a 30-point difference here from off of first place. They got 223, and even though Dynasty is in 6th, I mean they're off almost 80 points. So unless all the top 4 teams don't make Sunday, which I don't see that happening, and then they win the next 2 events, it looks like Dynasty's out for that one. So you know, I think you're going to see Infamous squeak into the top 3, but I think you're right. You know, the Tampa, you know, Heat, they're going to be in there for the finals.
All right, so let's move over to NPPL. This is interesting. You got Tampa Bay Damage in first with 34 points. See how simple that is? 34 points. Tied with Infamous with 34 points. Followed by Excessive with 31 and Edmonton Impact with 31. So those are the top 4. Really close. You know, all 4 of those teams are playing really good paintball right now. If I had to pick 2 to come out of there, I'm going to say it's going to be Excessive and Damage. That's my pick.
Well, you know, I enjoy that. I also feel that, thank you. I really feel that Excessive has the strongest 7-10-man team that we have ever had. We've built them for 3 years. So, you know, bar us messing up like we did in Chicago, our last event, and just stepping on it ourselves. You know, I really believe.
You didn't even make Sunday, and you guys are still tied.
No, we made Sunday. We just lost in the first round. Yeah, we were up on impact 2-0 and managed to penalize ourselves into losing with like 15 seconds left. It was amazing how bad we stepped on it. Lots of penalties. Nice. Oh yeah, majors and minors and talking penalties. They're just like, what are we doing? Like, it was over, But nevertheless, let's not go into that. I guess it's hard for me to say. I really believe that we can win the series this year, and we have as good of a chance as ever. With that being said, damage has been so solid this year in 7-man compared to like last year. I don't think they made a Sunday.
No, they had a rough year last year. I don't know what it was, but with this new format, it's kind of like X-Ball. You got the back-to-back games. You got the turnaround times. They're athletic.
But you know what? That's not even. I don't even think that's in my cards. But we should talk about it because I think we talked about it a little bit about in Thailand what that was going to look like, and no one knew. We'd done a practice, but we haven't actually played it. So, what's your thoughts on the new format?
I like it.
New question. I just made it up right now.
Oh, really? Nice. Okay. I gotta say, I like it. I mean, the format is quick. It keeps the adrenaline going. You're not stagnant for 20 minutes and playing your next game after that. So, I mean, I like it. I truly do. I don't like There's some things I don't like about it, but overall, I think it's the way to go.
So, expanding off that, and I think I talked a little bit before because I was saying how much I enjoyed practicing it. Well, as much as I enjoyed practicing it, I think I like the tournament even better because you get to see what Matt Marshall always says: you want to see paintballs have a story play out, and it's kind of like playing the CXBL here. We go out there when you can be down 6, 7, 8 points. I think I've said this before, and you can come back. We watch teams come back from 8, 9 points, so you get to watch a story play out. Like these first 2 events have brought me back to those original X-Ball days. Remember when people didn't know how to coach yet, and we couldn't do it well from the inside or the outside, so people are making run-throughs and things are happening, and the crowd's going wild. Like
that's where I got my 2 championships from.
Right?
Remember that?
So you understand like how fun that was. That's what NPPL reminds me of now because if I want to go down and stab all 3 guys in the snake if they're lined up, I'm gonna go now because. If it doesn't work, 1, we get to try it again, and 2, no one's gonna yell, "Hey, look inside! The dude's coming!"
Yeah.
So.
That's the one thing that I hate about the PSP is that you can
they've
make
tried
a phenomenal
to bring it away
move
from the inside, but that outside part, it really stinks on the snake side. The Dorito side, I like playing the Doritos now for the PSP because it's just a one-on-one battle, no one's helping them. But in the snake side, that stinks. So, nevertheless, there are the drawbacks though. There's 14 dudes on the field. It's hard for the refs to watch 14 people. People are making the run-throughs. People are hit.
Oh, boy.
There's so that's a struggle. But I mean, in any sport, we have that struggle.
Let's not talk about refs right now. Okay, let's get past that one.
We're going on. Anyways, that was a new question. The new NPPL format. If you haven't checked it out, if you haven't seen it, get yourself to an event. Look up the videos online. It is. I'm telling you, it is a ton of fun. If you can't make it there and you live in Canada, come play the CXBL because that's just as rad. All right, cool. Okay, so what does your life look like as a pro player? What are you doing outside of paintball, but in paintball? Besides just playing, what is Frank doing in paintball these days?
Frank's doing way too much. Frank's about to get married, and Frank doesn't even think he's gonna make it to the wedding. He's been so busy. No, there's a lot going on in my life, to say the least. I don't know. The biggest thing in my life right now is I just purchased a paintball gun manufacturing company out of the UK.
Congratulations.
So that's been taking about 98% of my time.
Okay. Yeah.
And my fiance gets the other 2.
She understands.
Yeah. No, she doesn't understand. She's hating life right now, but she knows in the long run it's going to benefit us both. So she's dealing with it right now, per se. I get the little snide little shots now and then, I'll send her a text, "Hey baby, love you," and the text comes back as, "If you love me, you'd be here right now." Ouch! Oh, let me pull a knife out of my back. You know how that is. I mean, you just said you're home 6 days.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be home this month. I'm going to be home like 6 days. Right. It's ridiculous. It just doesn't stop. I've already flown like 80,000 miles this year so far.
Really? I'm right about 80 myself.
It's crazy. Job, it's like unbelievable. But like I said, Vanguard, company was having some issues. I ended up coming in, taking it over, and I can tell everybody, I can promise you, it's not going to stay stagnant. I've already got 2 new guns I'm testing out, new internals. I'm bringing it to the next level, nonstop. New stuff coming out. I'm not going to allow it just to sit there. There's no way, because it'll just die if I just let it sit there. So I got to do everything I can, and expect some good, interesting things coming. That's all I can say.
There you go. Got it from Frank himself, the man.
And what about you? I heard you've been working on something new with JT.
Yes. We have the JT Splatmaster line, and Frank can contest.
Oh my God! Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. So they picked me up from the airport yesterday, and we're talking about this, and I'm like, "That's stupid. That's stupid. That's stupid. It ain't gonna work."
Yes.
He pulled it out at the paintball field today. I grabbed it. Oh my God! I had so much fun. I hate to say, I had so much fun shooting his little shotgun. I was just tearing everybody up. It was a blast.
JT itself as a brand, Excessive is putting out JT in the U.S. So we're going to be pushing all the new JT line, which is going to launch probably before this airs. Is going to launch in the next week or so. So you get to see all the new JT stuff. There's been some teasers and stuff, and I get to be a part of that because I am Excessive. We are Excessive, and then the Splatmaster line, which is already out in Walmart. They have a pistol and the shotgun and mask and stuff. It's really what's awesome about this is what I was trying to tell Frank last night when he thought I was an idiot is that everybody that picks it up, I mean literally everybody loves it, and kids can pick it up and shoot it, and there's like different stages. So we got targets and things like that. They don't have to shoot at anyone. No one has to shoot at them. They can have fun. They can get used to it. You're not hearing the big air going off. It's a tiny 50 cal paintball. It's spring. There's no air involved. So it's really a way for us to get people loving the sport at a young age, which I love paintball and I don't want it to ever go anywhere. So anything that comes out that can introduce people at younger ages to enjoy what we do, that dads and kids and moms and sisters and people can run around and play with, it has to do with paintball, dude, I'm down. So to be able to be a part of this project, honestly I feel pretty honored. JT as a brand has been around forever, which is cool. And
it's an amazing brand.
Yeah.
That name is,
it's synonymous with paintball,
it is,
right?
It really is. For anybody that's been playing the game long enough knows that JT was, back in the day, the brand of all brands.
The brand.
You wanted to be
when you first started playing paintball, did you buy something JT?
Oh my, without a doubt.
Exactly, right? Your hopper, the big sock thing you had on my head. I mean, sure, it looked funny, but I mean, I wore it.
Everything was JT.
Right.
John Gregory built a great company, without a doubt.
Yes. All right, well, that's all we got. It's mid-season. Maybe we'll catch up at the end of the season. Frank.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks for doing this. PBL, Gab-fest, CXBL. We're here. We're rocking. Splat someone. God bless.